Greetings, everyone. So here we are, a couple of days after Valentine's, and just sort of thinking about another card, a greetings card idea. And I don't know, see where this goes. So something that I think about every so often is the possibility that something fantastic can happen if you just focus on the positive. And it doesn't always work out that way. It'd be funny if it did. I hear people say that you can manifest things. And I don't know if that's ever really worked for me. I'm just going to zoom in, try to lock this down a little bit. Let's try another refocusing. Anyway, I don't know how that really works. I think the truth behind manifesting has to do with putting words into action more so than just talk. Does that make sense, I wonder? You speak it, but you have to apply action to it. So I suppose that's more along the lines of where I think you manifest things. I don't know if that's really in focus or not. I don't know. So I do like to think about that kind of stuff once in a while and then try to figure out, well, what do I expect from certain things? If I don't actually put what I say into practice. Let's give this person a little bit of stubble there. Actually, let's go with a bit of a stash. What do I think of that? Let's go with a bit of a more of a stash. So yes, when I think about these things, and I think of where I am now, I think, well, at some point I probably focused on something. And not just thought. I probably went out of my way to make sure that something could happen. I know that there have been people in my life that have made sure to look out for me. And I think that's important to recognize that. You can't always be so-called self-made. There's an episode of The Gargoyles, which kind of talks about how I don't really know if he's kind of a bad guy. He's more of a gray kind of thing, self-serving character, but Xanatos. How at one point he travels back in time. And he meets up with someone from, I think it's a secret society, and gives a gold coin to somebody to give to himself or something like that in the future. And then he talks about perhaps he's self-made for that reason. It's a really kind of an interesting thing. Now this guy looks kind of sinister. Do we like his hair like this? His eyes like this? He has probably too narrow of a nose. I don't know if I can recover some of that width by giving the tip a bit more definition. Something like that. You know what? Let's do a little bit of a beard here. Where was I going with this? Self-made. I think it suits most people, if at all possible, to help others get to where they need to be, and not just about the self. Let's go a little more scraggly. Maybe we'll do something a little bit different with the hair like this. And let it be a little more out there as well. It's kind of a Mr. Potato Head thing that I got going on with this. Where was I going with this picture? Oh yeah, this was supposed to be some sort of greetings card. That's a little bit odd now. What if? So yeah, where does one go, or what are the steps that you need to go through to get your dreams, to get to your dreams? How important is it to fulfill those dreams? And is it better sometimes to never reach certain goals? That perhaps it's better to always be in that sort of journey. Eyebrows would make a difference with what I'm doing here. Let's go with, because I have him kind of looking kind of angry, but I think we can fix this. Kind of. Maybe a little bit more. Have you ever gone to someone thinking that perhaps they could help you in your journey, and you were flatly refused? And you thought that they were perhaps, or that situation was the only way that your dream could happen? It's an interesting concept. Now I gave him sort of angry eyes, but can I fix this? Sort of softens him up a little bit. I think I know where this is going, and this may not be a greeting card by any means. So there was a point when I had moved to a big city, and someone approached me on the street and asked if I could spare some change. And in truth, I try to carry something on me just in case, like a card fails or something like that. And usually it's just like a bill, like it could be a $10 bill or a $20 bill or whatever, but that would be just in case, for whatever reason, there's an outage or whatever. Well, even at that point, and this is more than 20 years ago with this little story, and I said to him, well, let's go into this coffee shop, which turned out to be a Starbucks. And I said, well, well, he said that he wanted to get some food or whatever. So I said, oh, I'll get you something or whatever. And we walk up to the counter, and the man suggested that we go a couple of blocks the other way from the direction I was traveling, because there was a McDonald's. And I looked at him, and somehow I didn't think of him as somebody who was trying to save me a dollar or two. And I actually said to this person, beggars can't be choosers. And as soon as that came out of my mouth, I felt a kind of shame that a phrase like that would fall out of my face the way that it did. And I just kind of lowered my head and I said, order whatever you want. Like get a sandwich or coffee or... Anyway, I don't know if he picked up on how I felt, but he ordered up probably about $17 worth of whatever. It would have been like a sandwich and a drink and maybe a cookie or something like that. And yeah, it would have been cheaper for me to turn back, go the other way, go to McDonald's. But I just felt awful about that. And maybe what floated on inside of my head was, sometimes choices that some people make seem limited, and it's not always fair to treat someone because you thought that they made certain choices in their life. So yeah, I'm not sure where I was really going when I sat down to just sort of draw this, and I don't think the man really looked like this. Just something sort of reminded me of some sort of humanity, starting off a certain way, maybe. Hmm. We should be so lucky to recognize someone's humanity and not just some sort of burden on society. You can't really just say to some people, get a job, or... because not many people in certain situations can maintain whatever that thing is. Work. I don't know. Oh, that's my friend Neville telling me that it's at about 19 minutes, almost 20 minutes. You hear phrases like, there, but the grace of God go I. And you might wonder how close you are to perhaps being where someone else is. And you think, well, that can't be me because I have a support system and that sort of thing. You haven't burned certain bridges. Yeah. So, just some thoughts, just some rambling. But if at all possible, try to keep certain things in mind. I know that's something that I have to deal with in my own brain when I drive by like a tent city or something like that. And I think about human beings just being in a certain place. Anyway, well, that's all for now, I think. Just a doodle, a thought. I think that's it. All right, folks. Well, like this suggests, don't forget that you can get some discounted Valentine's chocolate now that the whole thing's over. It's funny, just as a last and final thing, I wonder for those that do their last minute sort of shopping in that regard, or even beforehand, how do they feel that they paid full price to get something on time when the chocolate tastes exactly the same just a few days later at like 25 or 50% off or whatever it ends up being that they just roll that stuff out of the stores? I don't know. That's just funny. I think an IOU for that kind of stuff probably works out better. It's a silly idea. Anyway, I hope everyone has a wonderful day, and thanks for hanging out. And maybe we'll do something else a little more, I don't know. We'll see how it goes for the next one. Have a great day, everyone.